Tim Miser, head basketball coach at Eastern Oklahoma State College. We appreciate you guys, man.
No doubt, Coach Miser. Glad to have you. Honored to be here. Region 2 has become a hotbed these past few years, and you guys are getting better and better year after year. Which returners have made the biggest jump here at Eastern Oklahoma State since last year?
I think, obviously I think everybody knows Devin Brown was an all-region guy for us last year, but I think he did get better. He's been a better leader. He's been a better playmaker. And then probably Roy Henderson. He kind of finished pretty strong for us last year and has came back, a lot better. So, we're looking forward to those guys being a huge part of us.
Yes, sir. A team of half returners and a team of half newcomers, right? What newcomers should, four-year coaches here today at the tour keep an eye on and all the way around the country?
Yeah, so we have a 6'8", 6'9" transfer from Ouachita Baptist Division II in Arkansas. He's put on a lot of weight. He's still continuing to get stronger. I think that one's, he's going to be a sophomore, so that's a big one. Then our freshmen, we like all our freshmen, but, it's still early. So, time will tell. In a month, we'll probably know a lot more.
For sure. And I bring up the newcomers because obviously JUCO, we're constantly bringing in new players. You've coached elite players like Cameron Clark and Cameron Hunt, who became All-Americans and record-setting scorers. What did you see in them that you now look for in recruits?
Man, it's really just love of basketball. Those two guys, if they didn't get their workout in, they actually physically were sick. They didn't feel good. So it's that kind of, we know what the work ethic it needs to be. And, they just loved it so much. So if you can see some guys that have the love like that, they're going to be successful because they're going to put in the time. For
sure. And you've spent over a decade building a program at Southwestern. What lessons from the experience prepared, you for being a head coach here at the Region 2 at Eastern
Oklahoma State? My boss there, Matt O'Brien, was awesome. I played for him for 1 year, and then he kind of took me under his wing and really helped me. And you see a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
You see a lot of things that you're not, you don't think you know, or you think you know, but you don't really know. And, being with him for so long and seeing how we weren't great when we started, and he built it up. And I think he set the tone for me, and he's still a guy I lean on if I need something. He's always there. He'll answer anytime I call him, and he's just been a great mentor and friend for me. And I think that's kind of who built me into, what being able to do to move on here to Eastern and be ready.
Yes, sir. Reputable programs from where you're from, out in Kansas, right? All the way from D1 to D2 and even JUCO with the Jayhawk Conference, right? Emporia, Kansas, where you're from, and now coaching in Oklahoma. How has your background shaped the way you connect with players and build community here at Eastern?
Yeah, so I think I had a really good high school coach as well. Rick Bloomquist was awesome, and he was tough. He was hard-nosed. He kind of, instilled the work ethic, the no excuses, that kind of stuff. And being in Kansas, basketball is kind of a big deal. Like you said, you have to really actually love the game and work hard to be noticed. There's so many schools in Kansas, and I know the Jayhawk, those JUCO, that region will tell you. There's so many schools there. They're all competing. So, I think it kind of, and then I played JUCO at Allen County, and my roommate was from D.C. We had our guys right across the hall from Milwaukee, and it's a great thing about sports. You just meet so many people from all these different backgrounds and all, whatever it is. It doesn't, economic backgrounds, racial backgrounds, cultural backgrounds, and I think it just helps you grow, and you really need that, especially in our profession.
Yeah, they say, and I'll analogize it to a shark, right? You put him in a fish tank, and he grows as big as the tank is, right? So what you surround yourself is who you become.
Right.
So obviously, when you were hired, you mentioned being humbled and excited to work in a close-knit environment where everyone cares and values each other. How have you seen that community culture show up since taking the job?
Yeah, it's really cool. So even last night, just friends of, not just basketball, but just of the school in general, had our guys out to their house, fed them, let them swim in their pool. We have things like that a lot, and I think it's just, especially being in a really small town, and we get guys from Dallas, Houston. We've had kids from France before. We get Oklahoma City, Tulsa, some bigger cities, and we bring them out into the middle of nowhere. It's really nice. They get to know some of these guys, these people around the school that really love them and care about them, and it just makes the transition much, much easier, and I'm very thankful for that.
Yes, sir. These core things that you keep bringing up, whether it's your mentors, the community you surround yourself, those values, they instill into yourself and the program. And one thing about these tours and the phone calls we're getting with college coaches, it's talking about talent, and we're talking about the type of player that Eastern Oklahoma State brings. If a four-year coach recruits your program, what kind of player and person are they getting?
Yeah, I think the vision for us is they're going to get someone that's coachable and it's going to work super, super hard and be tough. Those are the three things we're really going for. Obviously, the talent's what's going to bring them, but those three things I think is what's going to make them excel and actually be successful at their next place. They got to be tough, they got to be coachable, they got to be able to work. And I think that's what we're trying to instill in our guys. And if the four-year coaches they recruit from Eastern, then I think that's the guys they're going to get.
Absolutely. And Region 2, a tough region. We've had multiple teams on the national stage. You guys are right in that region. Which player could surprise a four-year coach within Region 2 at Eastern Oklahoma State?
I think Roy Henderson could surprise some people. I think, again, he closed well last year, but it was really just the last month of the season he started playing better. And then I really think Jude Hill is going to be surprising. I think he's the kind of guy that I think every coach wants them on their team. They're just not sure of it yet because he's, he may not be awesome at everything. He's not an exceptional at it, but he does everything right. He does everything you ask him to do, and he does it to the best of his ability. He's a 4.0 classroom guy. He's great. And then the last guy I think is Isaiah Williams. He's really, really athletic, and I just think I think he can surprise people with how well he can guard and how versatile he can be defensively. He really, really moves his feet. He can legitimately guard 1 through 5. So I think he could surprise some people.
And those two names, excited to what their season is going to pan out to be. You've coached and developed all Americans at the NAIA level and now at the JUCO level. Revo Recruit coming in, stepping in to help college coaches gain visibility to your program, to Eastern Oklahoma State, whether it's the technology or the media. How does Revo Recruit help athletes gain with four-year coaches?
And I think you and I, and we talked a little bit about this off air, but the social media is just a big, big deal now, all over the place. And then again, especially for us being in such a small town in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma, it's big for us to have you guys help us out, to get our guys out there. Not everybody wants to drive out to Wilburton, Oklahoma. I get it, but it's really nice to have you guys help us out. Now it's so easy for people to track our guys, know when we play, see some highlights and that kind of stuff, and it's very accessible now, where they don't have to find out when they can make it out to Wilburton or can they make it these games. They got their seasons going too. It's just the accessibility is so much better, and there's no way that's not a massive improvement. And then we get some more exposure for the region as well. I mean, we've all been chasing Connors the last few years. Final Four team, made the national championship game last year, and we feel like Region 2 deserves a little bit more exposure. And I really appreciate you guys for coming out here, and you're definitely doing that for us.
No doubt, Coach. Thank you for the kind words. As we sit here, whether we're talking to a parent, a player, or a coach, and they think about Tim Miser at Eastern Oklahoma State College and the leaders he has underneath them on the court, what should they think when that phrase comes to mind?
Yeah, I hope that someone's going to love their kids. We love our guys, and we're going to try to make them better people, better players, and get them to the next level. Those are three things, and this is every time we talk to parents, that's what we're talking about, trying to make them better people, better players, and get them to the next thing. That's all what we're about. And I hope that's the values that everybody else can see.
Coach Miser, I appreciate you sitting here with us. Looking forward to the rest of the season ahead for the 25-26 year. Thanks again.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys, man.